Hello again, everyone. Toby Burrell along with Rod White here tonight for another Friday night of Maroon Devil football. And, Coach, it's the playoffs, round one. Maroon Devils visiting Cherryville here in the first round of these 1AA playoffs.
Yeah, this is the most, to me as a coach, back in the day, this was about the most exciting time of year. The whole season's exciting, but you're basically preparing and trying to get yourself in some kind of shape in the conference to end up out here doing this right now.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be a big one tonight. We're excited for that one coming here at Swain County Memorial Stadium, hosting a playoff game. And first-round success is something that we touched on this week on the Maroon Devils Network. And, Coach, these Maroon Devils in the first round, an overall 37-2 in first-round play over the playoffs.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And from the time I first came here, it's a realization that back when you were even playing, it's do or die time every Friday night. I mean, the loser goes home and puts the pads up. The teammates disperse. That team will never be there again. Yep. So you got to wear that a little bit on your kids. You got to make them responsible for that. And sometimes it can really make a big difference, especially with senior leadership. They don't want it to end, and they want to continue on. Now,
this was one of the things I wanted to ask you about tonight because you have great insight into this. You were a part of it as an assistant coach to start with, and as a head coach, you have a real good eye for how this works. But a 37-2 overall record in the first round is just remarkable. It's something like a 95% win rate. And really and truly what I hit on in the article that I wrote this week about that was the fact that you, Coach Dietz, Coach Patillo, and Coach Blankenship have done a tremendous job making sure your teams were focused on the opponent right in front of them and not down the road.
If that sneaks in, and it can if you're not careful, but not knowing who the next opponent is a whole lot of times, but it really helps. But the winner of this ball game knows who they're going to be playing. So there's that little bit of difference that I didn't have to face.
Right.
Coach Dietz didn't have to face. Right. Coach Patillo didn't have to face. With Bessemer City sitting down there with a bye, then the winner of this ball game knows who they're going to be playing. But still, at the same time, your opponent's right out there with you tonight. You can't get unfocused, and it's got to be drummed into them. It really does. It's a brainwashing tactic, as you well know.
Yeah, it is, and I know over the years that's something that Swain Coach has done a tremendous job with in being able to do that. And being able to focus a team week to week and just focusing on the team that you're playing in front of you is the biggest difference in being able to pull this off week to week. Because, so you go into some of them and you see a top-ranked team upset and you know what they were doing. They were looking for the second round. They were looking at who we're going to play in the third round or fourth round, and you get that far out in front of yourself, you fall.
Saw it happen several times during the years that I was here. One of the most memorable ones was during the regular season when Hayesville had played Rosman at Rosman and beat Rosman 55-0. And when our ball game ended, that playoff game ended that night, and I'll be honest with you, I can't remember who we played that particular night. It seemed like North Stokes or someone like that. Somebody come running in the field house down there and said, Rosman just beat Hayesville. Yeah. And I said, somebody better back up. I said, I saw that game over there. I scouted that game over there during our open date. I saw them take an awful bad whip. And they said, no, I'm telling you, Rosman just whipped Hayesville. And I honestly, once we started watching the tape, that was exactly what we thought we saw was that particular Hayesville team was looking past Rosman after that score during the regular season. And Rosman wasn't going to take it again, and they whipped them.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a couple of things that as head coach Neil Blankenship's got to be concerned about tonight. Number one is that fact of knowing who next week is.
Right.
And the second is that the last time this Maroon Devil football program lost in the first round was to Cherryville. of all teams,
right,
in a 21-0 loss at Cherryville. So I think on the positive side for the Maroon Devils, this is the first time this Cherryville Ironman team has been to Swain County High School, has seen Swain County Memorial Stadium, has had to face the Maroon Devils on their home turf, which our next point of emphasis has been one of the biggest stories over the last couple of years. The Maroon Devils looking for win number 18 in a row at home tonight against this Cherryville squad.
Right. And they play enough people down there, Cherryville does. They had not been here, like you said, before tonight. So But all the folks that surround them down in that area, down in there, we've played all. A lot of those teams have had to come up here and play us in this atmosphere and in this stadium. And word gets out pretty quick that it's a little bit different playing up here than at their own home place.
So it could very well come down to which team gets off to a quick start tonight in terms of what confidence is built from that opening drive. Offensively, defensively, we'll see how that unfolds. We appreciate you joining us here on the Maroon Devils Network. We're going to take a break down the road for WBHN and the Maroon Devils Network. We'll be right back. And we're back here, fans, getting ready for this first-round playoff game. The Maroon Devils and the Iron Man getting ready to do battle. As we do that, Coach, it's worth pointing out to our fans at home on the radio that we're here at Swain County Memorial Stadium getting ready to honor our veterans here on the eve of Veterans Day, and we can't say enough about what those folks mean to our community as a whole and our nation as a whole.
That's exactly right. And anybody that turned on a TV today on any of the specialty channels that's on cable or on the satellite, you were seeing a whole lot of that stuff being talked about and played. And I happened to come in and watch some of it myself about the veterans that are different things that went on during all the different wars this country's been involved in, and it's quite exceptional.
Well, our Maroon Devils tonight will be wearing a patriotic flag ribbon on the back of their helmets in honor of our veterans, and a special honor to the memory of one of our own Hall of Famer, Hanley Painter, is the one that Coach Blankenship wanted to point out tonight for his service in World War II. And what an amazing story Coach Painter is all the way around, and what he has meant to Swain County and the area of Hickory, and which, of course, Cherryville's from, but Lenore Ryan College, he's a legend down there.
It's one more story, and until I got to meet Coach Painter and talk to him and him tell the story about him over there and then coming back home and then playing football, again, was just miraculous. One of the best stories I've ever heard.
We'll have a little bit more on that, but first, Coach, let's listen to Haley Cassiotti as she talked to Coach Blankenship earlier today.
Haley Cassiotti here with the Maroon Devils Network, and we're here to ask Coach B a couple questions. Well, Coach, as we end the regular season, we find our Maroon Devils on a winning streak. What has been the key down the stretch?
Well, I tell you, these kids, they've done a great job during this winning streak. We were at a spot there early in the season where, we could have just given up and turned away. But these kids have bought into what we've done as coaches, and they have committed, and they're playing extremely hard right now. And we've started playing Maroon Devil football where we're running the ball real well, hitting them with big pass plays when we need to. And then our defense is tackling well and getting off blocks. So, I've been real pleased with our style of play and what we've been playing, and hopefully continue that through the playoffs.
Friday night, we begin the first round of the state playoffs. Our opponent is Cherryville. What can you tell us about them?
Well, Cherryville has some great athletes. They're very explosive. They have a receiver that is real explosive who runs great routes, so he'll be tough to defend. And then their quarterback does a great job of getting the ball to him. They're a ball control offense, kind of like what we are. Against Bessemer City, they didn't throw it very much. They tried to keep the ball away from their last game and ended up getting beat 14-8. And early on in the year, Bessemer City had beaten them pretty bad. So they've improved each week, kind of like what we have. So I don't think it'll be an easy game whatsoever. I think they're a great opponent, and they do have a great offense defensively. They fly around to the football, and they try to get you to turn the ball over, stripping the football. So we'll have to take care of the football and keep the ball away from their offense.
All right, well, good luck this week. And this is Haley Cacciotti signing off. Back to you guys.
Yeah. But just take it straight to the break. And we're back, folks, following our national anthem and a nice rendition there, paying tribute to some of the veterans from both Cherryville and Swain County, and that's always nice to see. Smallish crowd out here tonight, Coach, but I tell you what, it's a cold night, coldest night that we've had on a Friday night this year, so that may play a factor into this football game as it wears on as well.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, this is the real first night of football weather that it wasn't, at least, it's been muggy. It's been muggy about every Friday night, and this is the first Friday night where the air's kind of cleared.
Yeah, it is. And as we come back to you now, again, we are audio only this week. That's North Carolina High School Athletic Association fulfilling what they request of us, of course, which is we can't do live video.
Oh, man, I don't get to do the instant replay?
You don't get instant replay tonight. You'll see them, but the fans at home may not see them. So
I'll see them.
It may not make sense. So no replays.
No replay. Okay.
So sorry about that. But the Cherryville Ironmen in their blue pants, white jerseys, and blue helmets will describe that for you. And we've already seen our Maroon Devils come out. They are in solid maroon, which, of course, is traditional attire for home football games. And the band now making their way off as they, the Maroon Devils, in this 5-game winning streak at home, of course, Coach, have taken to your old way of entering the stadium, which is coming around the track, and they're going to do that again tonight.
I always enjoyed that. I always thought it really helped our players to walk right in front of their fans and feel the responsibility of being part of it, and it just kind of became traditional. We changed it up a couple of times, but most of the time that's what the players wanted to do. They wanted their fans to see them, and it was always exciting to see them come down through here and watch the fans react to them and then bring them on the field.
Well, we'll be with that shortly as the student section, which I might take an aside to and say has been fantastic over the last 5 games. To be honest with you, they've been outstanding in their roped-off section down there. They're making their way onto the field. And tonight, as we haven't previewed the game a whole lot, to be honest with you, I don't know a great deal about Cherryville. I know they're 4-7, and our Maroon Devils are 7-4, the opposite of that. And I know that they're going to be athletic, and they're going to do some things that we've not seen in a while.
Yeah, their conference, if memory serves me correctly, is a little more of a athletic type conference. They depend a whole lot on specific athletes doing different things. I know they have an outstanding receiver. I know they have a very efficient quarterback. They're a little different than some of the teams down in that part of the country from just the little things that I've read online in that they try to control the clock a little more. I mean, they don't look for the big play all that much, although they will depend on it, but they like to control the football and make drives.
Well, I'll tell you what, interesting, too, for the Maroon Devils tonight, they will again be without Bryce Sane, who had a couple of real good games there and emerged as sort of the lead back out of a young backfield squad back there, and Bryce is out for the second week, so he will not play tonight. But, Coach, the Maroon Devils are buoyed by the return of Seth Parker, which we didn't think was going to happen, but he's back.
No, and it was so I was elated for this program when the word came around, and I got to talk to some of his family members and some of the coaches about the fact he was coming back. And I'll be honest with you, if I don't know what Coach Blankenship and Coach Marr have planned for him, how much they have planned for him, but no more than he's been seen in the last couple of since he got injured. I see that. I foresee them coming right out of the box in the first offensive drive, maybe even the first play, and getting the ball in his hands. Because he's going to be feeling it. If he's having an opportunity to come back out here, he's going to be feeling it. There's no doubt about it.
I'm sure he is the most amped up person in this stadium tonight. No doubt about it.
His heart rate is a whole lot higher than it was earlier in the season because he's getting a second chance at this thing that he thought, and most of us thought, he would never see again. But here it is, and so I think that adrenaline's going to carry him a long way.
You are absolutely correct. It is my understanding from what was discussed earlier this week with Coach Blankenship that he will be a one-way player tonight, that he will go offense only.
I think that's a real smart move on their part because we need that weapon. He is a great defensive player, but he would be more important to us on offense. The defense has kind of remolded itself since his injury, and they're playing extremely well.
You're absolutely correct, and what he offers is another weapon that we've not had.
Exactly.
Where you can't sit on Briar Yance anymore. that takes that totally out of the equation. You can't sit and just say, well, we're not going to let you throw it to Briar. You're going to have to throw it somewhere else. You can't do that.
No.
Because
no,
if you do, he and Brody have a tremendous chemistry on long balls.
Yeah, that's – and I'll be honest with you. I'm not down there coaching tonight, but I would hang that sucker up the first play of the game if I had the opportunity, just to let him run and feel himself going up the field. If you don't hit him, you hit him. You got a 50-50 shot at it, and just let Brody cut loose with that thing and let him go get it.
Well, you know, and another key for Seth is what have we been, somewhere around 7 weeks, 8 weeks
right.
probably without contact. So getting that first game contact out of the way is going to be big for him as well, I'm sure.
It is. His adrenaline, I'm watching him right here on the sidelines right now. I know folks at home can't see him, and he can't hardly stand still. He's excited, so it's great to see him back out here to have an opportunity to make a run during these playoffs now to help his team.
Well, and you know what excites his fellow seniors who have grown up with him to have him back out there with them. It has to be a big deal this week. It's one of the main stories, of course, that has unfolded. A lot of people didn't know about it. It wasn't something we exactly publicized because we didn't want to get everybody's hopes up and then him not be ready to go after a week of practice.
Yeah, exactly, because it was still iffy. It was still iffy, but once he started moving around on it, and with the rehab and the help that he got from all the medical personnel and the people involved in it, then from everything I understand from their coaches, he's as good as he was before. So we'll see.
That should scare a lot of people.
It would terrify me if I was over in those blue helmets tonight, because they've not seen the combination unless they go back and they've really done their research of what it's going to look, and what Briar has done during his absence to try his best to take up that slack. Yep. And he committed himself to becoming the premier receiver we had out there on the field and make the plays. Now he's got his buddy back out there with him, and the show's about to start.
Well, and another plus out of that is we've seen Zeke Bradley grow as a receiver as well. So that offers even more depth. Now you can go 3 receivers again and do some things out of 3 receiver sets that Coach Marr hasn't been able to do all year.
And look how tall they are.
Oh,
and then you got Zeke. Zeke has really impressed me during this stint without Seth, in the fact that somebody forgot to tell him that he wasn't supposed to just catch every ball that's been thrown to him. Yep. He literally thinks that every ball that goes in the air is his, and he's made some outstanding plays.
Well, he treats it like a rebound.
He does.
He goes and gets it.
He goes and gets it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's exactly what it's supposed to be.
So coin flip coming up. Joe, we've got another break we need to go to. All right, we'll take a break while they flip the coin, and we'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this. And we're back, fans, and the Maroon Devils, you can't tell it because you can't see it on the video, but Coach White, they went real old school on their entrance tonight. The rescue squad and the police force in full force with sirens blaring, and the Maroon Devils going around the track and getting ready to make their way onto the field. Cherryville already there. The Ironman won the toss and have elected to take the ball first, so our Maroon Devil defense will take the field first. As a coach, did you always like taking the field first, or would you prefer to get that offense on the board?
No, I was more of a defensive type. Of course, that was just my mentality. I wanted to feel them out. I was never too nervous if they moved the ball on us a little bit, or sometimes even if they scored, because then they were playing their hand. They were going to show you exactly any changes they had made, or you knew what you were going to be up against. Now, it didn't always happen that way. Sometimes we'd go ahead and take the football, but a lot of times if you win the toss and you defer, you don't have the option. But if the other team won the toss, I was hoping they would take the ball and we could go on defense.
Well, the Maroon Devils will do that first. And another weapon that we didn't get a chance to talk about in our Farley Insurance pregame show was the return of Holden Petty at the kicking position. He has been a tremendous weapon in the games that he's been back, limiting return time on the kickoffs in terms of kicking it in the end zone. The team takes it on the 20.
Oh, yeah. He put on a show last week. He was feeling it last week simply because it was his first round back, and he was digging down deep. He was hitting that ball as good as I'd seen him hit it. And over the past part of this season when he was out, he was just like Seth. He was hurting for an opportunity to get back out there, and once he got that opportunity, man, that adrenaline hit him and it was on.
So we're almost set here for first-round playoff action from Swain County Memorial Stadium, Boyce Dietz Field. Holden Petty teeing it up as we speak. Crazy Train blaring in the background, and Quay Florine back deep to receive it for the Ironmen as they are ready to go on offense first. And we are set to go as Petty will wait for the blow of the whistle from Dennis Setzer. Setzer puts the play in motion, and we are underway from Swain High School. It's a high, deep kick, but it'll be fielded by Florine on the 7. So he heads back upfield and falls down on his own. And, Coach, that looks like one of the wetter parts of the field. We did have some rain in Swain County this week, and from looking at it looks wet.
It notoriously, the 15 between the 10 and 20-yard line on the concession stand end of the field has always been the area. Even after we redid this field and put Bermuda grass on it, it stays wetter on that end than it does anywhere else on this field. And just historically, that's the way it's been.
Well, Florine went to make a cut, and when he did, he fell, and the ball will be the Ironmen on their 19-yard line to open with. They got a full backfield. Handoff there to Chapel Moss, who bulls his way ahead to about the 22. It looks like a host of linemen in there with Paul and Thomas. Little John maybe in on that opening tackle. The Ironmen move it to the 22-yard line, so a gain of 3 to open play for Cherryville.
Yeah, they try to run a double isolation up in there. Folks know what that is. You block down on a defensive lineman, you kick out on the last offensive lineman, you lead 2 blockers up in there and give it to the back. And now they're going to go with twins to the short side of the field, quarterback keeping it.
And that's the quarterback, Jacob Harden, who keeps it on what amounts to a lead dive over his left-hand side of the offensive line. He bulls his way up to the 25, call it 25. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Ironmen here in their opening possession.
Yeah, just a little bit of a feeling out process right now. They tried to run the isolation with the quarterback that time, which is part of this pistol offense that they run.
So Harden is set back to receive the snap. The Ironman set. He hands it off to Moss again, and he bulls his way ahead. Looks like he has enough for the first down. The side mark may be a little close. We'll wait and see where they put it down. It's going to be right on the 29-yard line, and that will be a Cherryville first down.
Yeah, he just barely got it, but they ran a bit of a zone play right there and just let him find a gap to get into. And once he sensed a little bit of an opening, he jumped through it.
Cherryville, one of the growing number of teams that does not huddle. It's just a sugar huddle, if you call it that, where they gather right behind the line of scrimmage with the linemen, and they signal the play in from the side. It'll be Moss again looking to go up the middle. We got a penalty flag Looks like illegal procedure on the Ironman.
Yeah, they were going to try the zone play to this side that time. Same formation, just trying to run a bit of a zone play, not pulling anybody, just putting a hat on a hat and letting that running back find him a place to run.
So Cherryville will resume action here, 1st and 15 from their own 25-yard line. We're at the 10:14 mark. We'll have to remember to try to keep you up to date on time since we are audio only tonight. And the Ironmen break the huddle now with Harden and Moss, their running backs. And they try to pull the Maroon Devils offside with a fake count.
Yeah, they tried to get us to jump there, get their yards back. Now we got a penalty flag, delay of game.
And I think we got a delay of game. They took a little too long in trying to get that play organized and get the Maroon Devils to jump off sides to get that 5 back. And nope, check that. We had a timeout first. So the Ironmen take a timeout with that. We'll take one with them down the road.
The time is now to pre-order your very own DVD or Blu-ray box set of the 2017 Maroon Devils varsity football season.
Third down play. They set up the screen on the left side. Oh, we missed a tackle, but there's another tackle behind him. The ball is loose. Murphy picks it up.
He's running the wrong way.
And they're running the wrong way.
This action-packed set will include every regular season game, postseason games, plus a special highlights disc. Your choice of DVD or Blu-ray discs for the low price of $30. Order now to have your very own Blu-ray or DVD box set just in time for Christmas.
It's a carry on 1st and 15 after the no call there, and it will be Brown, Littlejohn, and Paul in on that tackle.
Yeah, Cherryville attempted then to fold block in the middle by pulling the guard over the top of the center and get a lead blocker up in there for the back, and our linebacker sniffed it out. They met him at the line of scrimmage and just punished him.
So a gain of 1 by Cherryville on Moss's carry there, and now they'll add it again. Moss again off the other side, and no luck over there either, as it looked like Big Nolan Brown and Will Paul met him on that side for a gain of, again, about 1, maybe 2. It looks like it's going to be 3rd and 12 for the Ironmen.
Yeah, we'll get to see right here now what they're going to do with the receivers, because I don't foresee them trying to just run this football right here. They attempted another zone play right there, and he got met pretty quick right there.
Well, the initial set as they get their play have their twin receivers to Dylan McLeod's side. And we'll see if that's the direction they decide to go in. Ball situated right in the middle of the field. Now in motion is Jason Pitts. It looks like they go deep to Pitts, and it's right off his fingertips. He about made, that's Quan Florine, about made a spectacular catch there, Coach.
Yeah, he got a step on Breyer right there, and Breyer opened his hips up just a little bit late. But he saw the route developing, and he just opened his hips up just one step too late. And the receiver had to step on him and almost made a one-handed grab right there.
So it'll be Andrew Clark to punt, as we understand it from the Cherryville radio station. He is not the regular punter on the year. He is filling in for an injured punter, so we'll see how he does. It's softly hit down on the Swain side, and Yance will let it bounce and fakes it, and it will roll dead right around the Maroon Devil 30-yard line. So Swain will take over 70 yards from pay dirt on their first possession of this football game. It's 8:30 remaining in your first quarter.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see right here now just exactly what Coach Marr and Coach Blankenship have planned. Right away, I see that they put Seth Parker out to the wide side of the field out there by himself on an island, and Briar Yance right inside of him. But unless we're going to run, we're in split backs right here in the veer set. We'll see.
So there's the fake, and you got it right. Yance is wide open down the middle. He goes for Parker, and Parker's got it, and now is wrestled out of bounds over there by Andrew Clark. And
I'm telling you, that's exactly what I would have done. Let the big dog run. I'm telling you, he hung it up and hit him. He had to slow down a little bit for it. He was so pumped up. He got upfield so fast that he had to slow down to get the football. And allowed the secondary player to catch up to him.
So that completion, to let you know what happened after that, since you weren't able to see it, is Parker and Yance were both behind the Cherryville defense, and Parker catches it and is brought down on the Ironman 14. So a huge gain for the Maroon Devils right away, and now they are in prime position. It's Bowman on the option. He keeps it to the outside, and Florine on the tackle, but Bowman gains about 5 on the read option right out of the gate down on the goal line.
Yeah, it's scary when you look up, and Briar Yance and Seth Parker are standing within 6 feet of each other to the wide side of the field, and they've got one defender out here, and that will haunt them before the night's over.
Absolutely.
I promise you.
Well, Swain goes with a big set now as Yance and Parker are both out of the game. Will Paul and Langston are in, and it will be up the middle to Brooks, I believe, was the ball
Brooks.
carrier on that one, and he is tackled interior there by Trevor Black of Cherryville, but not before Brooks makes the 5-yard line. Check it, the 6-yard line, somewhere between the two. It'll be third and a long one here for the Maroon Devil offense.
Yeah, we lined up that jumbo package and traded over then, and we just didn't get a cutoff block on the backside. The nose man was able to get up in the A gap. We'll see if he tries it again right here. We got to get him cut off, though.
Well, same formation for the Maroon Devils, strong to the right, and the snap on the way. Bowman follows Brooks. He has the first down, but he's short of the touchdown. He'll be down to about the Cherryville 2 before being brought down.
Yeah, that's that quarterback isolation or follow, quarterback follow, we call it. You block everybody on the line of scrimmage. The dive back, you don't really fake to him. He just runs up in there and tries to hit the linebacker underneath his chin and keep behind at least 2 yards deep and give the quarterback a chance to jump up in there.
Well, ball on the 2-yard line, first and goal for the Maroon Devils now, looking to get on the board first. It is Brooks bullying his way, but he is brought down, and it looks like short of the goal line. Sean Kostiki, and looks like 75. That's Jace Britton on the tackle in there for the Maroon Devils. They give Brooks a gain of 1, so it'll be second and goal from the Cherryville 1 for the Maroon Devils. Still with the big package in the lineup. Parker and Yance are on the sidelines. It is tight end time, and that is Will Paul, Holden Petty, and now Jacob Langston. Yeah, there's a touchdown.
Oh, boy, that's where you knock them in the end zone right there.
And they almost ran out of the back of the end zone scoring that touchdown. It's Brooks on the carry, and it'll be at the 6:13 mark. Maroon Devils on top first with their opening drive.
Nothing fancy right there. That was just smash mouth, and that's a challenge to our offensive linemen that they stopped Brooks short on that last play, and this time we drove them back into the end zone, and some of our players ended up in the back of the end zone driving their people.
So Petty on, point after is good, and the Maroon Devils cap a 70-yard, 6-play drive in just a little over 2 minutes to get on the board first, and it's Maroon Devils on top, 7-0. Holden Petty kicking off again for the Maroon Devils, and we certainly hope Holden has a long night. That'll be perfectly placed down on the 3-yard line. That ball bounced.
Don't run by him.
And just stopped. It looked like a good sandwich. And Holden dropped it right on the 3. Picking it up over there is Andrew Clark, who bobbled it initially and then picked it up and got back to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, I was a little afraid we was going to run. Our ankles were not real good, and we were running by him. He picked the ball up, and that's a dangerous time for your kickoff team when somebody's back there and there's a bit of a bobble, and then all of a sudden your people are running by him before they got a chance to get under control.
But it worked out well for the Maroon Devil defense. Now Cherryville will take over from their own 13. And so already 2 kicks into this ballgame, we see Holden Petty being a weapon for these Maroon Devils.
Yeah, he is definitely a weapon.
So 1st and 10, Ironman, and they go with a strong set to their left, and that's going to be Moss again carrying it. He runs smack dab into the brunt of that Swain High line, and no gain on that play.
That Coach Blankenship went to the wolf front, which is our 3 front now, and that thing is very difficult to zone block, and they attempted to zone block that, and I think that's Coach Blankenship's thinking right there. If you're going to run that many zone plays, and then we're going to get in that 3 front. It leaves you with 3 linebackers who can read that thing and fill alleys and make things happen.
Looked like Ian Brooks on that stop, although it was a whole host of Maroon Devils before it was over with. So Harden takes the snap, goes to the air for the first time, goes deep inside. That's Florine. He can't get there. Dylan McLeod with excellent coverage. And, you know, Coach, these Maroon Devils on defense have developed 2 very good corners in Tanner Wiggins and Dylan McLeod.
Oh, yeah, they had him bracket covered right then. There, 2 of them broke over there. Yeah, I saw the lights start flickering, and now the lights have gone out.
We have shot the lights out here at Swain County Memorial Stadium.
Well,
so we'll see what happens.
We got a couple of banks still on. There must be a break.
That's a different breaker.
Yeah.
They just put that the flagpole, or not flagpole, light pole, that's what I'm looking for, next to the Hall of Fame building, and its opposite are the 2 that are on. So we'll see what's going on with that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I don't know. You got her number? Mark, you got her number?
All right. Guys, while the lights we're working on the lights right here, we'll take a break and see if we can figure out exactly what's going on and get the lights back on the field. So we'll be right back shortly.
Testing, 1, 2. Maroon Devil fans, as you can see, the lights are now back on in the stadium. And once the teams come back out and do their warm-up, we will commence with our broadcast. We will also need to have Toby and Rod come back up to the press box. They are actually out involved in getting the power restored, and they'll be able to tell you all about it. So we will return, hopefully, momentarily with your broadcast.
Hello again, everyone. We're back.
Are we?
Yeah, we are. We're back.
We had a bad brownout.
We did have a brownout. You weren't able to see it because, of course, we're not on the air TV-wise. You'll have to pardon me. I'm still catching my breath. It's a long walk from where I came from. But the transformer blew. And if you will be able to see online that we did have some issues there, but those are fixed now. Well, okay.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm not sure how
Coach Burrell's got to go take care of something else right now, but we had
pull this off. But hang on, I'll be right back.
We had a bad. All right, you still there? Okay, all right. Yeah, we had a bad electrical outage here, and most of the lights in the stadium went out. And then Coach Burrell can fill you in on the Hall of Fame building and what went on there. But just now getting the lights back on and got most of them back up and going. Both teams are back out trying to get warmed back up just after this long delay and on this cool night. So we're interested in seeing what Coach Burrell found out. Nope, I don't have you on.
I can't hear myself. Oh, there we are.
There we go.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Woo! What a night. Well, we're about 5 minutes away from resuming. Both teams back out on the field getting loose on this chilly night. And the transformer blowing caused a little bit of a chain reaction over at the Hall of Fame building. There were some sparks on the outside of the box and a lot of smoke on the inside. So the fire department from Bryson City kind enough to respond quickly and efficiently as we've grown to expect from that outstanding group of people. And everything is good, nothing damaged, and so we're all breathing a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, the power company got their trucks in here immediately and went to work on the transformer out there and shut everything down for a period of time till they could figure out what the problem was, and now they're getting everything back up and going again.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a dark spot on the field-wise over on the field house side near the 10-yard line in. There's a bank of those lights on that pole that attach to the power grid at the Hall of Fame building, and they are out. They will not be back on until that whole situation is taken care of. Coach Neil Blankenship making his way up to the press box now. He's going to be the tiredest man on the planet. He's been everywhere.
Yeah, he just appeared right down here a minute ago to help get the scoreboard control box back up and going, and it's been a rough few minutes for him. But these types of things have happened. They've happened here before, maybe not to that extent, especially with an electrical fire like happened at the Hall of Fame building. But we've had light outages here before. We've been other places where the lights go out. That's a lot of energy used from these vapor lights. They take a lot of power, and when the least little thing goes wrong, it shuts everything down.
I think we've probably pretty much taken care of all of our commercials for the night.
Well, yeah, unless somebody else wants to call up right quick.
Let me give you some scores in case you haven't been keeping up on the internet. And at halftime, the Robbinsville Black Knights up big on Rosman, 35-0 over there at Big Oak Stadium. The Murphy Bulldogs up big on South Stanley, 37-0. Elkin 26-7 over Hayesville at the half. Rosman off in that first round to play each other, and Robbinsville looks like they're on their way to moving on, as does the Bulldogs. Interesting for Murphy, they have a little different approach than we do about things as we get back into talking a little bit of football here, Coach, in that they don't do a whole lot in changing what they do for other teams. They pretty much do what they do, and if they're better than you, they win.
That's it. And that's always been Coach Gentry's philosophy. And over the years, coaching against him and being around him as much as I was, he pretty much would sum it up for you. You know, if he's got the horses, he's going to run with them. And they don't change. He may add something every now and then. He always had a few little extra things for us because I think he felt like we probably understood them offensively a little better than most people did, and we were able to, all things being equal, kind of control them with our defense, and that gave us an opportunity then to do different things with our offense. But he is one of those people that he's going to stay with what he's got. He's not going to change it up, win, lose, or draw.
Well, I tell you what, I say that to lead into this, that they will have their work cut out for them next week with a young man from North Stanley. He is one heck of a running back. We saw that last year here when he gashed us for over 300 yards. Currently, he sits leading the state with 2,200 yards on the season. So he is their offense. So it'll be interesting to see what Murphy does next week with North Stanley. It looks like they're on their way to a win, and North Stanley got the bye. That's who they'll play. Murphy, of course, will have to go there. And so it'll be interesting to see what Murphy does in order to try to stop this young man who accounts for the majority of North Stanley's offense.
Yeah, and it will be something that a lot of folks will have a lot of interest in seeing exactly how that turns out, because Murphy will prepare for an outstanding athlete. However, they're not going to change a whole lot. Right. So it's not like they're going to go out there and say, okay, we're going to have to do something entirely different to control him. They're going to depend on their people, just their players, to outplay them and not let one man beat them. You know, that's going to be their philosophy.
Well, from the looks of things, the win over Cherokee just kind of got them jump-started 35-0, as we said, over South Stanley at the half over at Murphy for that one. So it looks like they are on their way to a win. It looks as though that the Black Knights are on their way to a win. Hayesville's got a little bit of work to do over at Elkin, which is not an easy place to play. We know that. Now the other conference teams getting a chance to go to some of those places that we've been to over the years that are not fun to play at. Elkin, one of those.
It seemed like 6-7 years in a row we would run into Elkin somewhere along in one of the brackets or the other, going into the regional championship game, and it was either earlier or later. But we've played up there. They've played here. They are notorious for having very physical and very tough football players up there.
Well, they're a program that's had some.
All it takes is somebody or a county building another school, right, redistricting, anything like that, and all of a sudden you're running out of players, and right. And it takes a while to get that built back up and to find the kind of people you need. And we've been very fortunate here in that being the only county school as far as the public school in the county, then with the reservation school, and having a draw from both the players from the reservation and from here throughout the county.
Well, in case you're wondering about the Cherokee Braves tonight, Cherokee with a bye in this first round, so they are spectators this week getting ready for next week's game. They'll open the playoffs then at home, and they'll be there for a while. As we return to action, it looks like we're almost ready down on the field. The Cherryville Ironmen will have a 3rd and 12 from their own 13-yard line as we come back. Currently, the scoreboard is off, and I think that may be what we're waiting is for that scoreboard to recycle itself. I think the play clocks were the problem, as the play clock on the Fieldhouse side that probably is connected to the scoreboard is not on, and now the scoreboard itself is off. Outside of that, we're pretty much there in terms of being able to resume play. Our team is huddled down there and breaking now to move around a little bit, as I'm sure they were implored to do by Coach Jeff Marr, who's got them rounded up. I think Coach Blankenship is still down in our neck of the woods there.
He comes back out now. He's
working on
here.
He's put in about 12 miles running since the power went off.
Yeah, it's a good thing he didn't weigh any more than he does. If that's me having to move around that much down there, I'd already had a heart attack. Yeah.
I started out when they called me going down the hill at a jog, and I thought, nah, this isn't going to work. It wouldn't do for me to have a heart attack once I got over there, so I'm there to stop. But Coach Blankenship injured his knee a couple of weeks back when he got whipped on the sidelines there by one of his own players. So it's good to see he's moving around that good. Looks like the knee's feeling better because he's jogging up these steps now. And
that's one of the most some of the biggest injuries to coaches happen in practice from leg whips. Yeah. It does when you're coaching players and especially in just simple fundamental blocking and tackling drills, and all of a sudden their feet come off the ground and they're swinging around. And I know a lot of coaches that, and myself included, I don't think I have a tail on my toes, any toenail that's the original one. Any of them. They've all been stomped off by these cleats, and I've got more dents in my legs from these shoes swinging around and hitting you.
That's dangerous when they come in at about 500 miles an hour when they come at you. And I don't know where we're at with the scoreboard. That's what we're waiting on, folks, is the scoreboard down there. We gave you Smoky Mountain Conference scores. Let me see if I can tune in somewhere where I can get some other scores for you there and update you, keep you updated around. I know we had some folks who were worried about us. We got a couple of texts along the way wanting to know what happened and tried to fill you in. Sorry, there's nothing really and truly we could do to let you know we were down as we went down. Well, the internet went down when the power went out, so there's really just not a whole lot we could do for you, and we apologize for that. Hopefully you understand that we were in a dark situation, so to speak, if you'll pardon the pun, and there wasn't a whole lot we could do in terms of media-wise to let you know what's going on. So checking in over here, it looks like number 2 ranked Reynolds in, what is that, Coach, 3A? Big 3A. Mm-hmm. Up 28-6 on Parkland in the second quarter. Watauga is 7-6 over Asheville at the half. Tuscola's up tied with Robinson at the half. Smoky Mountain down to Franklin. Franklin up 21-7 in the second quarter as we're almost ready to go here. Pisgah up 21-14 on West Wilkes. Hendersonville up 14-0 on Brevard. And we are almost set to resume action here from Swain County as the Maroon Devils will be on defense. The scoreboard's back up, and the time clock down at that end is not on. So we probably won't turn those on at all so that both teams have equal advantage from this point on. The score clock that Cherryville is facing is the one that's out. So Cherryville with the snap now. Harden rolls to his left, throws back to his right, and he has his man wide open over there. And that is number 5, it looks like. And McLeod gets him pushed out of bounds, but not before he gains about 70. But there's some laundry laying at the 20-yard line back near the line of scrimmage. Let's see what that call is about. The play will go to the 27-26 of the Maroon Devils as number 5, Jason Pitts, caught it. And I think it's coming back, Coach.
Yeah, it looked to me like one of their offensive linemen wasn't real sure about the play. I see the coach over there talking to him now. He actually ran upfield about 7 or 8 yards trying to block somebody, and I don't know exactly what he was doing, but it's an ineligible receiver downfield, I'm pretty sure is what the call is going to be.
Well, it's going to go from the Cherryville 20 back to the Cherryville 8. And ineligible downfield. They'll get a repeat down out of that. So now instead of 3rd and 12, after that they'll have 3rd and, say, 15 upcoming.
Yeah, and they ran a wheel route, and if folks know what that is, the outside receiver runs a post route, a short, skinny post into the middle of the field. The inside receiver pretty much just rolls over the back of him and takes off down the sidelines. And as he got upfield, he got open. Our corner bit on the post route, and he won't do that again, I promise you.
I believe Pitts, the receiver on that, came out of the backfield in motion that time.
Sure was.
It's a tough time for the Maroon Devils picking him up. 3rd and 15 for Cherryville, and they're going to stick to the ground and try to get some position back, and that's Pitts out of the backfield. Yance corrals him over next to the field house. He will get back to almost the original line of scrimmage, and it will be 4th and a long 9 for Cherryville here. We have 4:53 and counting remaining in the first quarter of play as we return to play.
Looks like they're bringing their punt team on. They attempted a zone read play that time, and he just decided to take it back across the field. And normally I'd say in most instances he would break that when we were able to corral him for about a 6-7 yard gain.
So it'll be Clark to punt it for the Ironman. Again, another low liner back towards the middle of the field, and Yance gets out of the way of it, just lets that roll dead. And it will do so at the Swain 37-yard line. So the Maroon Devils take over for their second possession of the first quarter, 7 yards better than they were for their initial possession in the first quarter that got a touchdown for them. And as we saw, the first play was a deep throw to Seth Parker.
Yeah, now they know he's out there, and they're not going to ignore him. But there again, if you look right now, you can't see it at home on the radio, but we've got twin receivers out to one side of the field, and they've got one defender over there. And so I don't know exactly what their plan is, but that could really haunt them here very shortly.
That was Bowman keeping it on an option read to his left, and he was pulled down over there by Luke Rayfield of Cherryville, but not before Bowman gained about 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Maroon Devils, and, Coach, I don't have a number 23 on my roster, but judging by his height, that looks like Zeke Bradley to me.
Yeah, it is. See right here, there we are, taking advantage of what they're giving us. We've got 2 receivers over there, and now a flag comes in. We've got 2 receivers. They got 1 defender. Now there's another flag comes down.
I think that was the original flag that hit Briar Yance in the back. They're going to get a hold on Bradley over there.
Yeah.
As he pushed his man clear out of bounds, and Yance had a big gainer for a first down, and it's going to come back from the spot, which is right around the 50. It'll go to the 40. So Maroon Devils with a net gain of 1 on that play after the pass. It was a short pass out to Yance, as you said. They had 1 man over there covering both he and Bradley just served as a blocker as the ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, and a big gain of about 12 yards for the Maroon Devils, but it's nullified by a holding call, and now it'll be 2nd and right at 6. Call it 7. Yance in motion now, split backs Brooks and Burrell, and Bowman rolls to his left, goes back across the middle to Yance, catches it in stride. He's at the 20, the 15, 10, 5, touchdown Maroon Devils.
That's picture perfect. I'm telling you, Brody put that ball right on the money, and Briar just stuck his arms up at the last second. It hit him right in the chest in a dead stride in the middle of the field. He ran a post route in the middle of the field. They were in man coverage, and he was in motion coming across, and as a free safety picked him up. He made that cut into the middle of the field, and there was no catching him.
No, it was a beautiful pattern, well run, and a beautiful throw by Brody Bowman. And that one skitters through as Holden Petty catches that one pretty firm. And it will be now Maroon Devils 14, Cherryville 0.
The time is now. To pre-order your very own DVD or Blu-ray box set of the 2017 Maroon Devils varsity football season.
Third down play. They set up the screen on the left side. Oh, we miss a tackle, but there's another tackle behind him. The ball is loose. Murphy picks it up.
He's running the wrong way.
And they're running the wrong way.
This action-packed set will include every regular season game, postseason games, plus a special highlights disc. Your choice of DVD or Blu-ray discs for the low, low price of $30. Order now to have your very own Blu-ray or DVD box set just in time for Christmas.
So we're set to kick it off. It'll be Holden Petty with 3 Ironmen back deep to receive, and Petty has been dynamite again on the kickoffs. This one's high into the middle. Florine will have it at the 7. He will bring it back upfield, tries to cut back across field, gets his way outside, got Tanner Wiggins to beat. Nice. Little John polishes him off.
Wow.
He did not see Ice coming.
No, he got popped.
That one will cost him because Ice lit him up.
Yeah, he sure did. He was doing some juking in there, and when he tried to reverse his field, Ice was coming downhill at him full speed and just leveled him.
Best starting field position of the night for the Ironmen as they'll start on their own 24-yard line against the Maroon Devil defense. It's 3:12 remaining in the first period of play. Maroon Devils on top of this one, 14-0. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns so far for the Maroon Devil offense. This will be the Ironmen 3rd possession so far of this young game. It will be Harden again at quarterback for Cherryville, flanked by looks like Jesse Blofeld and Moss. It'll be Harden up the middle, and he is met immediately by Little John and Thomas.
Yeah, they were attempting to run a trap play for him right there. They actually pulled the onside guard and then pulled the backside guard to trap the down lineman that was following. And the entire backside of the Maroon Devil defense just collapsed on him.
Gain of 1 for Blofeld on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Ironmen, who, again, don't huddle. Their linemen huddle right behind the football, but the receivers and backs stay out of the huddle and get their sign from their coach on the sideline. Harden sets with 2 backs, one on each side. Now in motion goes Pitts. He will fire to Pitts, who's not looking, but Dylan McLeod was looking. And if Dylan could have got a better step right there, he may have had 6.
Yeah, that was almost a pick 6 for sure, because if the other receiver had not just been in the way completely, he would have been able to pick that thing off.
Yeah, I think they were trying to set up a little moving screen out there for Pitts and had him in motion, and Pitts actually never looked back for the ball.
Never saw the ball coming. Never knew it was there.
And so the Ironmen face 3rd and 9 here, and it looks like we have 116 yards so far to Cherryville's, that's passing yards, 0 yards. Cherryville is outgaining us on the ground, and we've got a timeout. Cherryville will take it with them down the line. Maroon Devils on top, 14-0. Third and 9 for Cherryville now. They snap it. Harden drops back, looks across field, throws it right to Ian Brooks on the 30. He's to the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Maroon Devils on an Ian Brooks interception.
He squatted in the flat right where he's supposed to be. That's his coverage in that zone coverage, 3-deep coverage. And the quarterback tried, I don't know exactly whether he was trying to throw it over his head or what, but it didn't get there. And Ian was sitting right there to catch it, and he just turned the jets on, and that was it.
It looked almost as if the pass was for Ian, as there were no other Cherryville men in the neighborhood, really, that I saw. And so we're still 2:19 remaining in the first, and Holden Petty is on for his 3rd extra point attempt of this football game. The Maroon Devils exerting themselves early and often here.
It was a great run by Ian, too. He knew exactly – he knew that there was not a defender left between him and the end zone. All he had to do was get a little bit of width and get gone.
Yeah, it was pretty much a cakewalk for Ian, and we'll keep it right here since we just took a break as Maroon Devils prep to kick it off again. 21-0, 2:19 remaining in your first period of play here from Swain County High School. If you're just joining us, you missed out on all the festivities early on as we had a transformer blow and about a 40 to 45-minute delay in this football game, and it did not cool these Maroon Devils off at all.
No, it looked like we were having a candlelight vigil here because everybody had their cell phones out and had their flashlights on. So everywhere you looked, there was cell phone flashlights walking around, and so it looked. I never had seen that here before. That was pretty interesting.
So it'll be Holden Petty to kick it again for the Maroon Devils. So far, the strategy for the Maroon Devils on special teams has been high arcing kicks by Petty. We know that he can directional kick and he can kick touchbacks, so there's some method to their madness with Holden. They can do different things with him, so they're going to try again here to see what's going on.
Yeah, they're having a little bit of trouble trying to decide what they're going to do with the football because of what Holden's doing, and they can't set up a return like they want to simply because they don't know where the ball's going to go.
So Petty will look the situation over. He's waiting on the whistle, and now he will get in his attack position, get his instructions from Coach Blankenship.
Yep.
And the kick is high and deep. It'll be Flourier on the 4. He starts back up field, goes into the fray there, and it looks like he's caught by a host of Maroon Devils who get to the 25 off of that one for Quan Flourier.
Yeah, it's almost like Coach Blankenship has decided that we're going to kick it to their skill people back there and take shots at him that will get their attention out here in the middle of the field and not let them get to the boundary. That's one thing we're not doing is allowing them to get to the edge with the football. We're making them bring it right back up the field, and that's some of those guys don't particularly like that.
So 1st and 10 for Cherryville from their own 25-yard line. Best starting field position of the night for the Ironmen. And Hardin will take the snap, hand it off to looks like Chapel Moss, who bulls his way. He's their fullback. He kind of bulls his way ahead for maybe a yard. Big Logan Loftus and Ren Gunner there on the scene for the Maroon Devils for that tackle.
Yeah, that went back to the Wolf front again, and perfect for those zone plays. And Coach Blankenship had a feeling they were going to run that zone play, and from that point right there, now he goes back to his split forefront, and there we go. Now the adjustments being made up front.
Well, that's going to be on the Maroon Devils. It looked like movement on the right side of their defensive line, trying to guess that snap, and it'll be a 5-yard gain for the Ironmen. So it'll be 2nd and a short 4 for Cherryville from the 31-yard line now, as they've creeped into their best field position so far this evening. And Hardin will be flanked by Moss. Check that. And it looks like, I'm not sure who that other one is. I can't see the number.
Can't either, but they're in the pistol set, going to run the isolation.
And that's Moss again.
Yeah, he was trying to cut that thing back somewhere in there because the lead blocker got stalemated at the line of scrimmage by a linebacker, and he didn't have anywhere to go.
It looked like Allen and Brown on the tackle there for the Maroon Devils, and he is short of a first down on the Cherryville 33-yard line. It's 3rd and 2 from there.
You got a single set. This time he's going to take it himself.
Hardin plunges ahead. He's got the first down, but met over there by Holden Petty and Ren Gunner. It looked like he got to the 35, which is what he needed to make. So it'll be 1st and 10 Cherryville as they move the chains for the first time in their last 2 or 3 drives.
Yeah, and that's okay. Right now, making them drive the football is what we're, that's going to help us out tremendously.
Well, the first quarter is almost history as there's 30 seconds and counting left in this one. The Cherryville will have to run one more play, but that'll do it for the first period probably in this football game.
Another quarterback in this time. It's the running back, and he got sacked.
That was Logan Loftus coming freely through, and he got Quan Flooring before Quan could get moving at all, and it's going to be a loss of about 5 there. So 2nd and 15 for Cherryville, and that's going to do our first quarter of play. And as it does, we'll take a break and be right back with more Maroon Devil football.
The time is now to pre-order your very own DVD or Blu-ray box set of the 2017 Maroon Devils varsity football season.
Third down play. They set up the screen on the left side. Oh, we missed a tackle, but there's another tackle behind him. The ball is loose. Murphy picks it up.
He's running the wrong way.
And they're running the wrong way.
This action-packed set will include every regular season game, postseason games, plus a special highlights disc. Your choice of DVD or Blu-ray discs for the low price of $30. Order now to have your very own Blu-ray or DVD box set just in time for Christmas.
So almost ready to start this second quarter. We flipped into the field. Cherryville will have the ball. It'll be 2nd and 15 after the big Logan Loftus tackle on the quarterback, Quay Florine. And he moved from receiver to quarterback. I think they were trying to get a little run design in there and try to get him free.
Yeah, that's what it was. They were attempting to let him get back there, use his athletic ability to try to make something happen. But the stunt we ran up front, Loftus was there before he had time to breathe.
So back into the game now is Jacob Hardin at quarterback. And I'm not sure what Dennis Setzer's explaining to him as official, probably that the play clock is not going to work on that end, so he'll have to look at the back judge the old-fashioned way to get the time.
Right. When he starts that hand movement, he's watching his watch, and he'll start his 25-second count.
And it's a quarterback draw out of there. He's going to have good yardage up past the 40. Holden Petty's got him by the sleeve, and Holden drags him down by a shirt sleeve at the 40-yard line. So a gain of about 10 for Jacob Harden and Cherryville.
Yeah, that's about their biggest offensive running play of the night right there. Just a quarterback draw, like you said, using the backs as lead blockers, and him taking a step back out of the pistol set, letting the blocks develop, and then him finding a place to run.
So 3rd and 5 now for Cherryville from their own 41-yard line. It'll be Harden in the backfield. Fake snap count. And it'll be Chapel Moss back there with him. And they're looking over getting the sign from their coach, Tim Pruitt.
Yeah, Swain going into
over again, and timeout Cherryville. He didn't like what was going on, so Coach Pruitt calls timeout for the Ironmen. We'll keep it right here, as you've had several commercials during our break, I'm sure. So we'll keep it right here. Talk a little football with you. Maroon Devils on top of this one, 21-0, 11:04 before halftime. Delayed, of course, because the transformer here at Swain County Memorial Stadium went out. Took about 45 minutes to get that fixed, but now we're a little delayed in where we should be along the way. We appreciate you joining us here for the first round of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 1AA. Is that what you call it? 1AA?
1AA.
Football playoffs.
They were attempting right then. It looked like Cherryville was to set up throwing the ball out there to the wide side of the field, and Coach Blankenship saw what was happening with the tight end and 2 receivers to the same side, and he went into kick coverage right there, and it confused Cherryville. So they were trying to make a play call at the line of scrimmage, let the quarterback make the play call, and he wasn't real sure what to do, so they had to call timeout. Now they're going back into kick coverage again.
So Cherryville now with 2 running backs on each side of Harden, and they fake the crisscross, and Harden takes it up the middle and then cuts it back inside, and he will have no gain on the play. Will Paul in there for the stop along with Ren Gunner for the Maroon Devils. Logan Loftus also getting off the bottom of the pile. 4th and 5 now for Cherryville. And let's see if they decide to go for it. With 4th and 5, no, here comes the punt team on. So it will be Andrew Clark again, who thus far has been the busiest Ironman of them all, lining up for his 4th or 5th punt of this evening.
Yeah, I see Briar shortening up his distance right here. He wants to attempt to try to return one.
There's the snap. Clark with a high punt.
There's his chance right there.
Yance takes it on the 27, spins to the outside down the Swain sideline. He's got some room. He's got a blocker in front of him, and he leaps over one man. He's out of bounds. The flag comes flying in from the offside. It looked like there may have been a block in the back by the Maroon Devils.
Yeah, generally in that vicinity, that's kind of what you expect, and that's what it is. When coming down the sidelines and they're closing, and our people are coming from behind them, and it's hard to discipline players not to try to make that block, but sometimes you do it accidentally. Sometimes you're looking one way and you run into somebody.
So after the penalty, the Maroon Devils will take over on their own 45-yard line, 1st and 10. Bowman still on the sideline with Marr getting the play, and now here comes Brody into the lineup. The Maroon Devils huddle. Will Paul checks out. It looks like Bradley, Parker, and Yance are in the game together, which will make it awfully interesting. And they've only got one man covering
2 are
Yance
the best
and Parker.
This is crazy. I don't know what these people. I apologize. I really don't know.
Now Florine skips over that way, and it's a run up the middle. It looks like it's Ian Brooks on the carry,
right.
And Brooks able to spin his way for 5-yard gain inside. 2nd and 5 Maroon Devils. That time it looked like right at the last minute, the free safety, who is Quay Florine, the guy we've talked about on offense, one of their best athletes, suddenly shaded to that side, but he did not move over far enough to do anything but take that middle part of the field on a deep route.
He's the one that Briar beat earlier for the touchdown.
And here comes the fake. They go to Parker.
In between. Oh.
Underthrown, and Parker couldn't get his hands underneath it, but he was open again.
There we go. I mean, I don't, I'm not coaching Cherryville. I'm really not. But those 2 receivers out there, when this thing starts connecting like it did a minute ago again, then it's just going to be huge plays. I mean, you can't defend that much ground with one defender out there and two receivers the caliber of Parker and Yance.
No. And that time there was a fake to Yance on the short pattern, and Parker went deep, and the corner bit on the short pattern, and Seth was wide open. So this time Yance in motion. Bowman scrambles around a little bit. He looks, and now he's got Yance wide open down the sideline.
Wow.
Yance has got some running room.
Wow.
McLeod in front to block. He cuts back across. Touchdown, Maroon Devils.
Boy, he made that look easy.
He did, didn't
that
he?
was pitch and catch right there. Those two guys, Brody came out of the pocket, was running towards the first down marker. Before he got to the line of scrimmage, he saw Breyer just break loose from a man coverage, and he just lobbed the ball up over to him, and it looked like a flag tag.
It did. It looked like just a little pitch and catch.
That's all it was.
And then Breyer was wide open down that sideline, got a good block on about the 15 from Dylan McLeod, cut back across the field, and an easy touchdown. Cherryville across offsides, but Holden Petty nails it anyway. So I wonder if we could just take the point and not worry about having to line up and do it all again, since Holden made that one.
Yeah, and a lot of times if it's offsides on them, you'll decline the penalty.
Well, I think they blew it dead before we had a chance.
And that way the ball gets spotted right where it was. We'll see here what the call is.
Coach Blankenship out trying to wave it off, but I don't think at this juncture there's much you can do about it. He does wave it off, so it'll stay in the same spot for Holden. That's a common strategy by coaches to leave their kicker in the same spot they're used to kicking from, because gaining a half a yard doesn't mean that much, but it might throw them off.
Well, and there's always little worn-out spots right there where they kick from, and the kickers get used to that, and they don't want it to be put anywhere else.
So the Maroon Devils now, with 9:26 remaining in the first half of play, are up 28-0 on Cherryville, and we'll be back with a kickoff.
The time is now to pre-order your very own DVD or Blu-ray box set of the 2017 Maroon Devils varsity football season.
Third down play. They set up the screen on the left side. Oh, we missed a tackle, but there's another tackle behind him. The ball is loose. Murphy picks it up.
He's running the wrong way.
And they're running the wrong way.
This action-packed set will include every regular season game, postseason games, plus a special highlights disc. Your choice of DVD or Blu-ray discs for the low price of $30. Order now to have your very own Blu-ray or DVD box set just in time for Christmas.
Holden Petty set to kick it off again. He's got Quan Florine back deep, and he kicks this one short and high. This will be over here to Jason Pitts, who catches it on about the 14-yard line, finds a crease up the middle, and Tanner Wiggins.
Wow.
And then that Tanner polished him off. Ice Littlejohn in there as well. But Pitts gets it up to the Cherryville 35-yard line, their best return of the night. There was a small opening there, and he burst through it for a big gain.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job of getting us blocked up front there. Some of our players committed a little too early to where kind of sold themselves out. He was able to make one or two moves in there and get the best field position, like you said, on a kickoff of all night long.
So now they split Florine out all the way up to their sideline. He's about a foot away from Coach Tim Pruitt as he calls the play. And they go inside to Moss again, and he finds, again, no running room up front. That's Nolan Brown and Thomas Allen, Logan Loftus in there stacking that thing up for a gain of 2. And that will leave Cherryville second and 8 here, 9:02 and counting in the second period.
Yeah, they're just not having much success with our defensive linemen. We're able to play the Wolf three-man front up there and mix in some of the standard base forefront, and it just they're just having a very difficult time trying to get us off the football, and they're not getting it done right now.
So Cherryville's set now. They have 3 men in their backfield, 2 on wings, and now they'll hand it off to Pitts again, and that's Holden Petty out there with a good tackle. So he fought off the block of Logan Ford for Cherryville out there and brought Pitts down for a gain of maybe 1.
What was great about that is he never gave up his body position right there. He stood right there, took it on, and never did make a break inside or outside of that block. Got the blocker off of him, and then just simply rolled off and made the tackle for no gain. I mean, you don't get any prettier than that.
So the Maroon Devils now will line up with 3rd and 9 for Cherryville here. And it will be Harden and Pitts in the backfield now. Harden fakes it to Pitts, now rolls to his right. Florine gives a fake, and Harden goes down. That's Will Paul over there with a huge loss and a sack on the play of Harden.
About 15 yards worth.
And Harden goes down. Thomas Allen helps him up, pats him on the helmet, and he is all the way back to the Cherryville 25-yard line, so a loss of about 15 on the sack by Will Paul.
Yeah, they had one man out in a pattern. They were trying to keep everybody in, as many as they could to block it, and we still mauled him.
Yeah, and Florine was not open. He ran a fake out and then was going deep, and we had the free safety over on top of him, so there was nothing there for him. So Pitts is check that. It'll be Lawing who will down that on the Swain 42-yard line. Maroon Devils will take over their own football on their own 42-yard line with 7:01 remaining before the half, and statistically, Coach, it's looks like 188 yards on 11 plays for the Maroon Devils. 180 yards, I'm sorry. No, 88, I was right.
Yeah, you're right.
And 21 yards on 21 plays for Cherryville. So the Maroon Devils rolling up some offensive numbers here. And again, they have this time Bradley and Yance stacked to Bowman's left. And it'll be a tall sweep out there to Tanner Wiggins. We've seen him run this play several times through the year to success. And over there is Florine, who fights off a block by Briar Yance to save a Maroon Devil touchdown, but not before Tanner Wiggins picks up about 17 yards on the play.
That's his favorite play. It has to be, because he gets to line up deep. He's 10 yards from the football. He's got a lead blocker. We turn around, pitch it to him, and he's just out there running, just having a ball, running that football upfield. And it's a very difficult play to defend, too, when it's run like that.
So Wiggins back out. It'll be Burrell and Brooks in the backfield for the Maroon Devils, split in the traditional veer set. Yance and Bradley to the bottom of the set, and it will be Brooks on the carry, tackled by big old Jace Britton in there, 6'3", 225 for Cherryville. Not before Brooks gets about a yard, falling forward on that play. It'll be Wiggins sprinting back into the lineup. Brooks comes out, and it'll be Wiggins and Burrell in the backfield now for the Maroon Devils. It'll still be Bradley and Yance split to Bowman's right as they break the huddle.
Yeah, it looks like Ian got dinged there a little bit on his leg when the tackle closed. He hit him right in the thigh right there, and that's tough on him.
So this time it'll be Bowman. He tucks it up inside, cuts back across the grain, gets into the secondary, and will be drugged down from behind by Connor Bradley.
Yeah, he was reading that all the way, and when that end started to widen, he just stuck his foot in the ground and cut it upfield off the option look, and just started gaining ground right away.
Looked like a gain of about 15 to 16 for Brody on that run. It'll be 1st and 10 Maroon Devils from the Cherryville 19-yard line. 5:37 left before the half. Plenty of time for the Maroon Devils. And again, it'll be Wiggins and Burrell in the backfield. Bowman under center. A little flinch from the right side of the line there from the Maroon Devils, and I think they may have been whistled for that one. It'll be 5 yards further back for the Maroon Devils.
Yeah, that just something happened out there on the snap count. He may have been getting ready to check out. We got an extra wide splits that time. It looked like we were trying to create some veer lanes right there. That's not normally how you would line up if you're going to throw the football with that much split, but you can look. Now we're squeezing them back down, making them a little tighter, so we'll see here what the make is.
And Bowman goes straight ahead with it on a quarterback sneak, tries to get some running room but doesn't. and he'll be drugged down after a gain of about 2 on that one. Swain in a 2 tight end set with Will Paul and Holden Petty in. Briar Yance, the lone wideout on that. Chase Hughes comes up limping a little bit as he goes back to the huddle. I know Hughes has had a little bit of a lower leg problem, and that may have occurred again there as he tried to pull out in front of the action.
Yeah, what Coach Marr's trying to do right there, they're playing their middle linebacker anywhere from 4 to 5 yards deep, and they're leaving a bubble in the middle.
It's Bowman back to pass again. He's got Yance, the only man in the pattern, and Briar Yance ends up having to play defensive back as he's double covered. Qua Florine comes over from free safety to help out Andrew Clark on that play, and they're able to bat it away. Incomplete pass will be 3rd and 13 for the Maroon Devils, and now the wide set comes back in. Dylan McLeod, Seth Parker, Zeke Bradley, and Briar Yance. So suddenly now back into the arsenal of these Maroon Devils is that shotgun spread out receivers all over the place set.
Yeah, and this is the first time I think we've seen this tonight, and he's gonna try to find a receiver here pretty quick.
Bradley
right in the middle of the field. There
Bowman runs to his left, finds Seth Parker in the end zone for an easy throw and catch. Bowman to Parker for a touchdown. Welcome back, Seth. Good to have you back. And the Maroon Devils extend their lead now to 34-0.
Seth was praying that ball would hurry up and get down. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Bless his heart, he was. That ball got hung up there, and he was like, he had time to look around and see where the defender was. And Brody was having to throw off his back foot as he was running, and the ball hung up there a little longer than what Seth wanted it to.
And Holden Petty good again on the extra point. Maroon Devils on top, 35-0. We'll be right back. It'll be Holden Petty again to kick it off. The same trio back for the Ironmen, and let's see what they decide to do with the kickoff here. At this point in time, I would say they're just kind of playing around, letting Holden play with his kicks to figure out, practice what he can and can't do. Again, it's a high kick over to the right side. It'll be Pitts on the 12. He's going to bring it all the way back across the field towards the Swain side. And he is tackled over there by a host of Maroon Devils on that play right at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that was beautiful. They actually tried to bring the ball from the outside into the middle of the field, and we just collapsed on it. And when Holden's kicking it onto a third of the field like that, you really only have to defend 2/3 of the field, and that's pretty much, I think, what Coach Blankenship has decided to do. That we kicked the ball down the middle, made them bring it back up the middle. Now we're going to put it on the edge and squeeze from the outside in on him. And as he tried to cut that thing back across the field, he got leveled.
4:19 remaining before the half here. The Maroon Devils 35, Cherryville 0. And now Cherryville has too many men on the field, and scampering off there is Luke Rayfield, and we've got a flag on the play.
Yeah, that's illegal substitution right there. They have to, before they get lined up to the line of scrimmage, he's got to be off the field. If you're going without a huddle before the quarterback starts any kind of signal calling, whatever, those players have to be cleared of the field.
So illegal substitution signaled by the officials, and it'll be Cherryville 1st and 15 from their own 15-yard line now.
I'm really pleased at the way the Maroon Devils have come back out after that great long delay. They've not missed a beat. You're always scared to death of that as a coach.
Yep.
But the character of this team has come so far, Coach Burrell, over the past few weeks, that it's just it's miraculous.
So that's a handoff to Pitts. He breaks it outside, and there's Yance, levels him over at the 20-yard line after a 5-yard gain. Briar Yant's coming from that free safety position like a missile out there and really putting the finishing touches on that tackle.
Yeah, they tried to run an isolation, which they've been trying to run it up in there, and it just got bratted again. Both two linebackers filling the gaps, and when he saw that, he just stuck his foot in the ground, tried to get to the edge, and Briar saw him the whole way and just went over there and laid it to him.
Gain of 6 for Pitts, so it'll be 2nd and 9 for Cherryville. Harden again with Pitts. He tries to break it outside again. There's Zeke Bradley and Ren Gunner on the tackle. Gain of about 1 by Pitts. It'll be 3rd and 8 now.
Yeah, just to watch us move around out there, it's so much different than not too many weeks ago when we were struggling to try to find people who could get that kind of momentum out here on the field.
Yeah.
And it's almost like an entirely different team now. And of course, a whole lot of that has to do with the way we played there towards the end of the conference, but also having some of these players back.
It certainly does, and I know you are as aware as anyone that once you have a team that begins to see that the things you're doing works and gains confidence in what you're trying to accomplish and why you're trying to accomplish it, they become very difficult.
Yeah, it's 90% confidence. It really is. Like that play right there. Now, quarterback gets the football. He's going to try to make something happen. They snap the ball back there to him. He comes running back upfield like it's a draw play, and you did not see one Maroon Devil helmet stop. They kept moving the whole time, and there was nobody out of position.
Yeah, that quarterback draw did not work that time. Harden tried to break it up inside. Ren Gunner right there waiting on him, finished him off. Loss of 1. It's 4th and 9 now for Cherryville. And we've got a stoppage in play here. Maybe what are we doing, tucking in shirts now?
I don't know if that's still a big deal or not. But anyway.
We're back to going now. Briar Yance will be back deep to receive it. We got a timeout Swain, so Neil Blankenship wants to talk about some things. With 2:26 remaining before the half, these Maroon Devils in control here. And Coach, as someone who's been in this situation before, 35-0 at the half, but it is the playoffs. So at what point do you let off the accelerator, or can you afford to?
Well, you can back off. You can drop a gear, let's say. You can go back to third gear with players, but not with the momentum and not with the amount of intensity. That's one thing you can't lose. If you start too early, trying to substitute a whole lot, the players that you're really counting on, the players you really need out there, and you know you're going to have a week every week from here on out. You don't want them to lose any momentum and have to go back in a ball game and end up fighting for your lives. I've been through that. I know what that feels like. But right now, what the big thing on Coach Blankenship's mind is keeping these guys healthy. Now we've got a 35-point lead. He's going to play it safe. As you can't see it at home, but there's we're going to only put 3 men up there to go after this punt. Everybody else is in pretty much a prevent look right here in case they want to try to do something crazy. We're not going to do a whole lot up front right there to try to go block it. All we're going to do is make sure he punts this thing on time. But darn if we didn't almost block it.
And we got a flag on Will Paul, who, as you said, almost did block it. It'll be down back there, but let's see if that play is enough to give Cherryville a first down. Will Paul has 2 blocks on the season, 3 for his career. Almost had a 4th, but he looked like he inadvertently run into the kicker.
Yeah, Coach Blankenship's pretty upset with him because I'm pretty sure he's made it clear to him that let's don't give them anything. And what you don't want to do right now at this point in time when you've got somebody down like this is start giving them stuff. And penalties have not plagued us very much here over the past few weeks. And we have really cleaned up, for the most part, the penalty aspect. And I hate to even mention this.
Don't.
But I'm going to. I got to.
I know
is the turnover margin.
I knew that was coming.
Well, Gary and I rode it in the ground for so long, and it really was. It was disheartening there for a while. And then that bear got off our back. And once it did, it just started opening things up for us, and we just became a whole lot better football team.
Yeah. Well, and the one thing I think sums this team up a lot, too, that we haven't touched on yet is trust. Once you begin to trust your teammates to do what they're supposed to do in their assignments, your job becomes infinitely easier because you're not trying to do everything.
And it goes into that mix of seniors out there with juniors, and then you've got your sophomores. And And like we talked about early in the year, those sophomores are only concerned about survival.
Right.
And don't let me screw up, And the juniors, they're finding their way. The seniors, they've been out there. Most of them have. They've experienced it. And so pretty soon it starts to mesh. And that's what's begun to happen to us down the stretch of the conference play and going into these playoffs. We're playing as good right now as we have all year long. We know that. So that's what we're trying to keep.
So a kick now again. It's a fake.
Just like we thought they might try to do.
Incomplete. It'll be Maroon Devil football from their own 26-yard line. 1st and 10 with 2:12 remaining. It was a fake in that Clark, the punter, Andrew Clark, rolled to his right immediately. He had a man open for the first down, but it skittered out of his hands and out of bounds. So the incomplete pass stops the clock and gives the Maroon Devil offense life at the Cherryville 26-yard line on a short field.
Yeah, and that was basically really what Coach Blankenship was trying to do the play before. He wasn't sure if it was a fake, but at this juncture of the game, they're down by 35. There's 2 minutes left to go in the half. They got to take some chances.
And now you see Swain come back out with the spread set, and Cherryville has to substitute another defensive back on the field to cover this. Here comes Bowman. He's getting pressured outside, but picked up easily by Littlejohn. Bowman picks it up, takes it up opposite side of the field, goes around the side, gets down the sideline, and he splits them for a touchdown, but we got a flag on the play and another flag on Bowman, I believe, perhaps for taunting in the end zone.
Yeah, and it looked like we're going to have a block in the back down here as he was going down the sidelines, and then I'm not real sure what Bowman was doing, but he turned around and faced back this way, and a flag came out.
So they're going to talk about it. The flag lays on the 8-yard line, so we'd assume if it's a hold or block in the back that it'll go from there. The other flag lays in the end zone. That may have been a dead ball flag, so there's a very good chance that both of those penalties will go against the Maroon Devils here.
Yeah, and if they do, it's going to back us up for past our original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and it'll be second or first and probably 20-some, and obviously take us out of holding petty field goal range as well.
Right.
It's got to be something at this juncture of the game, one tick under 2 minutes and up 35-0, that as the head coach aggravates you to death that something like that happens.
Yeah, this right here, this is what we were talking about just a minute ago. You can't allow your players to take the foot off the pedal. And when things like this begin to happen, then it gets real frustrating, and it makes you don't it's one thing when incidental things happen, but you don't want to give anybody anything intentionally whatsoever.
So it went as the hold only. The flag in the end zone does not count, so it'll be second or first, and after that's over with, 1st and 5, so 1st and 3. So all things considered, that turned out a lot better than what we thought it was going to.
Yeah. That was not exactly what I thought we were going to see. So there must have been some explanation for what was going on down there.
So the Maroon Devils now go back to a traditional set, although they have one back in the backfield. That's Hunter Burrell. They have 2 to each side, and now Yance is in motion. It will be Burrell, Bowman up the middle on his own, and he bulls his way down to the 1. Did he get into the end zone? No. They're going to signal him down on the 1.
I don't know exactly how they got that spot right there, because his entire upper body, basically from his knees on, was in the end zone, and but they're going to spot it at the 1. So
heavy set comes back in, as you'll see Petty, Paul, and Jacob Langston, the newly minted tight end, is in also. So all the tight ends on the roster are in the lineup now. It's Brooks and Burrell in the backfield, foot-to-foot widths, and it'll be Bowman pushing right behind Nolan Brown. Nolan gets about 10 yards into the end zone, so Bowman scores easily. And that'll be another touchdown on the board for the Maroon Devils.
Yeah, he was pretty much the workhorse this series anyway. Now Coach Blankenship's going to have a talk with him down there about some things, and I think he got a little irritated. I think he was irritated at some of the Cherryville players. Something must have went on the field, which happens on occasion, and he didn't lose his composure, but he was upset, it looked like, and he tried to punish him right there when he went in the end zone.
And Petty makes good again on the extra point, and the Maroon Devils now lead this one 42-0 right before halftime, and they're falling in line with some of the other scores we're seeing in this first round play. We'll try to update you on the conference since we've got a few minutes here. Robbinsville up big on Rosman, 51-16 now. That one's in the fourth quarter. Most of the games are going to be well ahead of us because of our power delay. Murphy up big on South Stanley, 44.
Must be the same thing that's affecting our buzzer. Yeah. Okay. Yay. Okay, I think we're still broadcasting, so are you guys ready? All right, and you're live.
So we're set for the second half kickoff here from Swain County Memorial Stadium. Dawson Moore will line it up for the Ironmen and kick it off. Back deep for the Maroon Devils. Looks like I can't make out that number.
I'm not sure either. Still turned sideways.
It's a single digit, but it's not Briar Yance. I can tell you that much. Briar's over on the other side. It's a short one. It's going to go out of bounds at the Maroon Devil 42-yard line, where they can elect to take it, and probably will, from that spot.
Yeah, we're already seeing a lot of younger players coming on the field right here. Coach Blankenship's not going to take any chances with injuries. He'll keep his starters over here warmed up. I'm sure he's already gone over that with them in the field house. They got to stay loose, stay ready, especially their special teams players, their punters and long snappers and all that has to be. Those folks have to be ready to go at any point in time.
So it'll be Connor Hyatt under center for the Maroon Devils, and we'll update you on all those new faces once we get going. Looks like Colby Taylor's going to get a run, and he's drugged down from behind by Jason Pitts for the Ironmen. Looks like a loss of about 3 for Taylor. And we should also tell you that for the second half, at least while the score remains what it is, the clock will continue to run the whole time. So the Maroon Devils with a whole new offense in there. And the Ironmen looking to make some stops here and keep Swain off the board as the second half rolls along. It's a traditional veer backfield. Taylor and Lossie. Hyatt drops back, throws it outside over here to Robert Green. Green moves forward for the first down, and he's tackled over there by Andrew Beam for the Ironman.
Yeah, he made a great move. He made the first man miss, and that's always an objective, as you well know, as a receiver, is to if you can make that first man miss, everything's going to be positive yards. That was a stop route. He'd already picked up 3 or 4 yards on the catch, and then he made the corner take a run at him and completely sidestepped him.
Picked up about 8 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Maroon Devil offense. Taylor and Lossie in the backfield for Swain behind Hyde. It'll be Taylor up the middle. He's tackled right away but falls forward for a gain of about 3 and into Cherryville territory. It'll be 4th and 4. Check that, 3 from the Cherryville 49-yard line for the Maroon Devils.
Yeah, and I think Coach Blankenship, rather than run a play right here, he's going to opt to run his first punt team out there and punt the ball down the field here and let Cherryville take over the ball right here. So hopefully everybody's still loose. Got another punter in the game right here.
Looks like Zeke Bradley's going to do the honors this time for the Maroon Devils, and he will punt it, and it looks like Florine is back deep for the Ironman. He is the young man that Cherryville wants to get the ball to as many ways as they possibly can. Delay a game, Maroon Devils. The play clocks are out, so that doesn't help the Maroon Devils or the Ironmen at all. But 5-yard penalty here. Bradley backs up 5 more yards. He'll kick it from about his own 30. Florine stands on the Cherryville 22 awaiting the punt. 9:20 and counting in the third period. It's 42-0. Bradley gets that one off. It's a high
good shot
spiral, and Florine fair catches it on about his own 19. It'll be spotted on the 20. So a good punt by Bradley.
Yeah, it's a great punt. It's a low spiral, but he drilled the ball upfield, and that's what you look for anytime that you've got your second punter in there or anybody doing anything on special teams is to execute that well, and he executed that as well as he could.
So some fresh shirts also out there on defense now for the Maroon Devils, and we'll try to get you names as they make plays, but it looks to be a whole new unit, even though there are some folks like Thomas Allen, who is still out there, Ren Gunner still out there anchoring the middle for the Maroon Devils. Zeke Bradley also still out there, but a lot of fresh faces as well. So Harden will stand on his own 15 as he receives the snap in the shotgun formation. He'll hand it off to Moss, and that's tracked down quickly in there.
Yeah, they tried the isolation play again. They've not had any success with it tonight. Linebacker play for the Maroon Devils has just been excellent. They're meeting that thing at the line of scrimmage. Defensive linemen are beating blocks at the line of scrimmage, and they're just not had any success between the tackles.
That was Cody Long with the tackle there, the sophomore linebacker, number 50 for the Maroon Devils, stepping right in and filling that hole, as you said, Coach, right away. And it'll be Moss again, this time trying to look to get outside, and Thomas Allen meets him as he goes around the corner and makes the tackle with some help from Long over there, and another Maroon Devil on the bottom of that pile. Let's see if we can get a number on him. Looks like it's Lossy. Damian Lossy, the freshman, on the bottom of that pile as well. A gain of about 3 for Moss on that. It'll be 3rd and 5 for the Ironman.
Yeah, now this will be a real test right here. I look for them to probably try to get 3 receivers into a route. They've got 2 to the wide side of the field, and they may attempt to try to get the back out of the backfield again, out to the wide side of the field and try to make a play. And here we're going to bump it over and get into kick coverage as quickly as we can. That's what they're trying to do right here.
Oh, is that caught? No, it's batted down, but it looked like a great catch over there.
It looked to me like he caught the thing. I don't know. Maybe he rolled up on it, but he broke on the receiver perfect.
Let's see that in replay. Let's replay that one.
Man, that was a heck of an effort.
And that was Sam Everhart, by the way. We didn't identify the young man, but Everhart in coverage over there. And the pass from Harden, Everhart undercut the pattern and was able to get 2 hands on it. It looked like he came down with it from our vantage point, but then again, we are pretty pro-Swain, but it was waved off.
We're pretty far away, too.
And we are pretty far away. And so it'll be punt again, this time from, Clark, and Everhart is back deep. He's going to let that bounce. He's going to take a Cherryville roll into Swain territory and be downed at about the Maroon Devil 35-yard line. So 6-12 and counting still as the Maroon Devils go back on offense for the second time here in this half. It'll be Connor Hyatt and his crowd as they head out for this drive.
Yeah, I'd like to see this offensive unit that's out there right now made up of some of the youngsters and some of the guys that go to practice every day and put their time in, and I'd like to see them have some success right here.
So Hyde under center, veer backfield, inside run by Taylor. He's dragging about 4 Cherryville players with him.
Picks up about 5, it looks like 4 or 5.
And he's going to get 5 out of that, Coach, on a nice run.
Yep.
Into the lineup comes Cameron Baines, and he's going to get one of those backs out. It looks like it'll be Taylor.
We ran a bit of a midline right there. They've started trying to stretch to the outside with their interior people to make those gaps a little wider, and that's a perfect time to run. We come right back with it again.
And that's Lossy on the carry, and he falls forward for a gain of 2. So Damian Lossy with his first carry, and he gets the Maroon Devils up to the 42-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3 there for the Devils. Connor Hyatt over to Jeff Marr. Actually, Scotty McMahon checked that for the play call, and he goes back into the huddle now. He'll split Salinas to his right and Waldrop to his left. And now takes the snap, fumbles it, picks it up, can't do anything with it, and is buried in the backfield by, looks like 52 for, that's Gabe Schumacher for the Ironmen, and it's going to be a loss of about 3 as Hyatt fumbled the snap away.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to pull out. He was wanting to throw the ball. They had a pass route called, and he was trying to pull out of there as quick as he could, and just didn't get connected with the center on the snap.
So it'll be Zeke Bradley to punt it again. He's standing on about his own 25-yard line. Florine back deep to receive it. on his 29-yard line. Bradley angles that one away. It's end over end this time. Yance will try to track it down and down as it gets a good Maroon Devil roll dead inside of the Maroon Devil 20 at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, good field position here. We got him back inside the 20.
When Hunter Burrell downs it there, it'll be Cherryville ball. 3:44 and counting here on this one. And the Maroon Devils with a good stop last time. Cherryville starts from their own 19 this time.
Yeah, this is there again, a good opportunity to get some young faces out there, get some playing time for them. And like I said, some of the guys who come to practice put their time in every day. They may not be making that starting lineup, but they're getting their opportunities right here in the playoffs.
So Hardin with a full backfield back there. He hands it off to Moss again, and he's buried up front.
There's that isolation again. They tried a double isolation this time with two backs trying to knock out one linebacker. And I'm telling you, the field linebacker play and defensive line play right now is just exceptional.
Colby Kirkland in there on that one, along with Ren Gunner, who made the initial contact. No gain on the play. And the Maroon Devils hand Cherryville a second and a 10 here from their own 19 again. They again signal the play in with no huddle. The Maroon Devils wait the line up. It will again be a loaded backfield to Hardin's right. He is again in the shotgun. Snap, and he hands it off to nope. Check that. That's Pitts. Sorry.
Yeah. Number 5. Yes, this time they ran a counter play. That's the first time I've seen that tonight. They have a little bit of success with it, and it looks like they're going to be picking up a first down with it. And it's a counter trap play, and he just breaks out to the edge and picks up a first down.
And that was Pitts on the run and tackled out there by Everhart after a gain of about 10. He's on the 30. It'll be Pitts again, similar play. This time Pitts accelerates upfield and gets about 5 yards on the play before being drugged down in there by Kirkland again.
Yeah, they're just going to try to keep pounding it up in there between the tackles right now against some of these youngsters out there and see if they can make something happen.
So 2nd and 6 now for the Ironmen from their own 34-yard line. And they go running back on each side of Hardin. They give it to Pitts again. He's been red hot. He goes across that same left side.
Picks up another first down.
And he's got a first down out of that before being brought down out there by, let's see who that is getting up. Looks like Everhart again. With some help out there from Langston. Langston wearing a new number tonight, so he blends in a little bit. He's wearing number 2. And it will be 1st and 10 for Cherryville at their own 42-yard line. We're under a minute now in the third period. If you're wondering why that's so fast, remember the clock is continuously running during this period with the Maroon Devils up 42-0. So it'll be Hardin in the backfield. He's got one back to his left. He hands it off to him.
They're trying to run the counter again. This side going to their right, this time going to their right, and they pick up 2 or 3 on that play.
And that was Jesse Blofeld, and he was tackled by Long on the play. After a gain of about 3, it's on the Cherryville 45, and we're down to this being the last play of this third period of play for the Ironman. It will be Hardin in the backfield with Blofeld. And Hardin's going to keep it this time, again off that left side. A little bit of running room, but he's swallowed up in there by Leeson Mashburn. And he's down close to a first down, but that's going to end the third period of play. They're going to spot him just shy, but just over the 50-yard line at about the 49 of Swain. The 48 is the yard to make, so we're heading to the fourth quarter with our Maroon Devils on top, 42-0.
The time is now to pre-order your very own DVD or Blu-ray box set of the 2017 Maroon Devils varsity football season.
Third down play. They set up the screen on the left side. Oh, we missed a tackle, but there's another tackle behind him. The ball is loose. Murphy picks it up.
He's running the wrong way.
And they're running the wrong way.
This action-packed set will include every regular season game, postseason games, plus a special highlights disc. Your choice of DVD or Blu-ray discs for the low, low price of $30. Order now to have your very own Blu-ray or DVD box set just in time for Christmas.
So 3rd and 1 as we open the fourth period of play. That's Florine, and he tries to skirt to the outside. He may have a little running room over there. Salinas and Everhart drag him down, but he's inside Maroon Devil territory down to about the 35 of Swain. Catch you up on some scores around the area. Most of these have all gone final since we're so delayed in our game. Robbinsville 57-16 over Rosman, so the Black Knights advance. Murphy 44-13 over South Stanley, so Murphy will head to North Stanley next week. Elkin big over Hayesville 50-7, and all three of those are finals.
Now they're running out of a Wildcat set now and using their running backs as a quarterback, and they're trying to get as much athletic ability on the field as they can at one time. Got a great run right there by the running back on an inside zone play.
That was Pitts. He was brought down by Waldrop and Lossie out there after a big gain, another first down for Cherryville on the Maroon Devil 21-yard line. It is Harden back at quarterback now. He's going to hand off to Pitts again. Same play again to the outside. He gets over Lossie, jumps him, brought down by Waldrop, but a flag on the play. Could have been a hold.
Yeah, it could have been a hold or a block below the waist. I'm not sure because a few of their receivers that coming are trying to block back inside. It is a hold, but they've been spending a lot of time trying to get down underneath us and block us, and sometimes they'll end up taking your feet out from under you.
So gain of about 10 by Pitts nullified. It'll be brought back, and from the spot of the foul, it'll end up back on the 29 of Cherryville, or Swain rather. So first and about 20 for the Ironmen as they return to action here. 10:03 counting here in the fourth period. And it is now, is that Harden back at quarterback?
I believe it is. Yes, it is.
And he has rolling out now, looks outside and completes it to Florine, who is drugged down over there by Brandon Salinas after the completion. Sam Everhart helps him out. And Florine comes up limping. Looks like he may have injured himself. He's going to have to come out of the ball game. He's down to the 16-yard line, so second and about 5 for Cherryville.
Yeah, he come up a little gimp that time, and he's going over and getting looked at right here. And meanwhile, Cherryville's going to try to get another play run right here.
Good job by Brandon Salinas to keep that play in front of him and not give up a big play out of that. So it'll be. Looks like Moss again finds a little running room up the middle. He's drugged down at about the Maroon Devil 5 over there by Charlie Lambert, making his first tackle of the game. Lambert drags him down at the 5, but good running room out there for look like Chapel Moss carrying that.
Yeah, they ran the isolation again right there. It's the first time they picked up really any positive yardage with it tonight.
Moss again, but he hits heavy resistance this time. Looks like Lambert again.
Same play. They came right back with it, going to try to run the same thing and hoping for the same results, and it didn't work out so well for them.
And we've got an injured Cherryville player on the play. It looks like one of the linemen in there may have got rolled up on. Was it him or is it well, I can't make out the number, so I won't speculate. But he's down to the 2-yard line, so when we return from the injury with 8:37 and the clock stopped because of the injury, the Ironmen will have second and goal from the Maroon Devil 2.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a cramp down there the way they got his toe up and his leg up in the air. It looked like he cramped up down there right on the goal line.
Well, I would say it's the weather, but I don't think it is.
No, this right here has to do with how much fluid he's got in his body.
Because it is definitely chilly out there now, the coldest night of the year for Swain County. And it has been definitely that. Felt a lot like football playoff weather.
Well, it did, finally. Like we said earlier, tonight, these games have been pretty much muggy every Friday night until tonight.
And we will tell you, much to your delight, I'm sure, that Gary Ayers will be back with you next week as the Maroon Devils look like they're going to
You've done a
move
great
on.
job. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
that.
I've enjoyed working with you up here. This is the first time you and I have ever done this.
It is, but I'm not used to this much stuff happening when I'm doing this. There's a lot of stuff to deal with tonight.
You've really been in a track meet tonight, running back and forth to the Hall of Fame building and then trying to do this at the same time. I'm just glad you made it back up here because
I am too.
I was scared. I was just going to go off the air if I had to wing it.
But we will tell you that Gary is with Western Carolina University tonight. Their basketball season opened, and they always open on a Friday night. It's very irritating for him to have to give up a Friday night to cover basketball, but they're in Clemson tonight. And
well, as good as Gary is, and he's real good, he can't be in two places at one time.
He can't do that.
He's never been able to pull that off.
Not figured out a way to do it yet.
No.
So second and goal for Cherryville as we resume action. Harden under center. He hands it off and inside falling forward, and he is in. That is number 43, Luke Rayford for Cherryville. So the Ironmen on the board now, 42-6 with 8:05 remaining. And it looks like Dawson Moore will come on to kick the extra point for Cherryville. That looked like the same dive play that they had just ran.
It was. It was identical. They just stayed with what they knew and were just trying to pound it up in there against our folks.
Kick is up, and it goes through. It wasn't the prettiest point after ever, but it went straight through there. And the Ironmen are on the board with 8:05 left, 42-7 now in favor of the Maroon Devils. And they will go back to work following that Cherryville touchdown. And we'll stay right here as they kick it off for the second time tonight. We'll see what the Maroon Devils choose to do with some of their starters standing over here getting cold. Looks like they're going to roll out there with most of the hard to make substitutions on those special teams sometimes.
Special teams is a nightmare when you're trying to substitute for one or two players is okay. And a lot of times if you don't have a list of who's behind who,
right.
As far as where you line up, an injury or something like that, you can replace them pretty quick. But in this instance right here, you go back to the real basic stuff. You put 5 of them on one side, 5 of them on the other, and a kicker, and you just tell them to stay on, be in one place. And but when you're returning it like we are right now, it really gets hectic because unless a player has been up there before, he really doesn't understand what he's supposed to be doing.
And you got to also be a little worried about an onside kick here at this point too. You still have to play the game, even though
they've already done it one time and tried to get the ball, tried to chip the ball in, and we're defending that right now with the way Coach Blankenship's got them lined up out there to defend against that.
It looks like
chip kick.
Moore's going to chip it over there. Fair catch called by Jacob Waldrop over there. Nice, smart move on his part.
Very smart. Very.
Or is that Dylan McLeod?
Is it a 9? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's 9.
9 or 3. I couldn't tell which one it was, but that was an excellent job. He just he knew where he was at on the field, and great thing to do is just fair catch the ball right there and not take a chance.
So after that kickoff, Cherryville elects to use a timeout right here, so that will stop the clock at 7:48 remaining in this one. The Maroon Devils will come over and huddle up with Coach Jeff Marr and Coach Scotty McMahon and get a offensive set together here and try to control the ball for a little bit, take a little clock off, and do some positive things that a Maroon Devil thinks. And as they do that, we'll look a little bit at our rushing. We finished the game with 87 yards. Cherryville with 117 on the ground now. That's a little bit of a surprise to me, to be honest with you, that we only had 87 yards, but through the air has been the bugaboo. It's 5 of 7 for 196 yards through the air, and as you pointed out at halftime, it's kind of funny that it's Briar Yance, wasn't it? Had 2 catches for 110 yards.
Yeah, and 55-yard average, I think it was.
55 and 2, both of them touchdowns.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that when you look out there and you see how Cherryville was attempting to defend our receivers, it was almost as if we couldn't throw the football.
Absolutely.
And it was automatic from the first play of the game when Parker ran wide open down through there and made such a big gain.
And it's worth noting for those of you still with us that Briar Yance, with his 110 yards, goes over 1,000 yards in receiving yardage for his career, and that's a tremendous feat for Briar and shows his longevity as a receiver here at Swain, and we congratulate him on that honor and puts him among a select few.
He's a workhorse. I mean, he has been basically for the better part of 2 seasons now. He's been such a big part of any success that the Maroon Devils have had, and he had to step up his game when his receiving partner went out, and he stepped it up. He really took that on his shoulders, and he felt responsible, you could tell, and he meant to make things happen, and he did.
That time Connor Hyatt trying to throw the ball, he took one right in the ribs. Let's see if Connor's okay. He gets up a little bit slow. That one hurt.
Yeah,
it was a cold night. He took that one right in the ribs.
Yeah, that was a jailbreak coming through the middle right there up field on him, and he's still trying to get his breath back out there. He got hit right underneath his shoulder pads as he cocked his arm back to throw. He was going to throw a stop route out here, and before he could get the ball out of his hands, he got leveled by a defensive lineman, and he's still not over it yet. He's still trying to get his air back.
So it'll be 3rd and 9 for the Maroon Devils as they resume play here. We're at the 6:30 mark and still counting in this one. Also worth pointing out that Brody Bowman is fast approaching 3,000 yards passing for his career, and he did not quite get there tonight. Hopefully he will next week. And Lossy with a big gainer right there, but as he runs by, it's punched out, and the ball goes on the ground, and then Connor Bradley picks that one up for Cherryville, and it'll be their ball on the Swain 40. Good run by Lossy.
He was upfield. He was getting it up through there. He just forgot he had that football out there kind of swinging, and he didn't see the defender coming from the outside, and the ball got punched out.
So it'll be Cherryville ball here as we return play. We have a timeout, I guess, it looks like. Maybe a timeout as both teams go to their benches. So I'm not sure who called it. I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
But somebody with a timeout to stop the clock. It'll be Cherryville football when we return to play, and they will take over from the Maroon Devil 40. So what a difference a half makes for the Ironmen, who could not cross the 50 in the first half and now have lived in Swain territory on their two possessions here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they're getting an opportunity to kind of find themselves again after getting swamped in the first half by Swain and just getting pretty much manhandled in every aspect of the game. So, but it's a great opportunity for these younger Maroon Devils and to get out there and learn and experience this in the playoffs.
So it'll be Cherryville football. Harden fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, looks to pass back to his left, and he has Pitts wide open down the sideline. Waldrop tries to catch him, cannot. Touchdown, Ironmen.
That was the big play from the first half. The back out of the backfield, coming out over the top. They play fake to him. He hides away, and then he waits till everybody's eyes are off of him, and then he breaks out of there. And we've got that play in our arsenal, and we won some football games with it.
Yeah, it was a well-designed play call there by the Ironman, and he was running wide open down that sideline. Jacob Waldrop tried to close on him, but some good speed of his own out there by Jason Pitts, and he runs away and scores that one from 40 yards out. The extra point attempt is up, and it's good. So the Ironmen have cut this thing from 42-0 at the half to 42-14 here in the fourth period of play. We've got 5:10 and counting remaining in this football game, and barring anything unfortunate or strange or totally weird out of the way of thinking, these Maroon Devils are going to advance and travel next Friday to Bessemer City. And as you and I talked during the lengthy break at one point there, that's a place that in all of our travels we don't think we've ever been before.
No, I've studied in my mind, and I can't remember being there for any really any type of athletic endeavor. We may have. There may have been something that took place there, but I just don't remember it.
I believe this time around is the first time Bessemer City has dropped to 1A.
That's probably the instance.
I think they've been 2A, and they're in that split 1A, 2A conference at times down there. And normally it's Cherryville, the only one of the 1A teams in that area. And I think Bessemer City dropped in this latest realignment to 1A for one of the rare times. But we'll make that trip down there this coming Friday night. I remember a long time ago, 1977 to be honest with you, that we hosted Bessemer City in the first round of the playoffs. As a matter of fact, it proved to be Coach Dietz's first playoff win at Swain over at the old stadium.
Yep, and I've seen film of that because I didn't get here till 79, your senior year, but I did see the film of that game.
And so Cherryville kicks it off again. This time it'll be McLeod. Nope, check that. Taylor, he's going to take it, and he's going to run out of bounds with it. and it will be Swain football at about the 28-yard line as the Maroon Devil offense takes the field again, 4:52, and still running as we go through that. So Bessemer City will be next up for the Maroon Devils. Bessemer City, I think 8-2 on the season, something along those lines. An 8-win team. They will host. The Maroon Devils will move to their 8th win of the season when this one finally ticks down to 0. And many people would not have guessed this team would be at 8 wins at this point and on a 5-game winning streak.
No, sir. Earlier in the year, after when we were, like we said earlier, we were bitten by the penalty and the turnover bug so much that it just seemed like all the air went out of us, and it was a struggle to get it back. But they got it back. They found themselves again. They found their personalities. We've talked many times on this on these broadcasts about. They found it. They started, like you said, they started to trust each other more. The coaching never stopped. And I heard Coach Blankenship refer to that a lot of people had given up on them, and a lot of things. There was a lot of negativity going on. And when some of that negativity left with some of the stuff that was going on in the locker room and everywhere else, when it got gone and the confidence level came back, then things started happening for us.
Colby Taylor has carried twice and given the Maroon Devils a first down that will probably run the rest of this clock out. He is out to the 39 now. Good running by Colby on that last play. It took about 3 Ironmen to drag him down from behind. So Taylor again showing his benefit late in this game with good, tough, hard-nosed running between the tackles, which in kind has earned him more carries in the first half.
That's right. Exactly. And, they're having a little bit of movement down here trying to decide who they want on the field.
Well, we've seen a big growth in what I would call this baby backfield. These youngsters have grown up a lot, and they've learned to do these things during this time.
Yeah, they've had more practical field experience here in the latter part of this season than you would ever expect them to.
Absolutely, and it's only going to get deeper when Bryce Sane gets healthy and gets back into the lineup. That adds more depth in that backfield and makes them even more dangerous. 2:18 and counting down, 42-14 your score. Connor Hyatt on the sideline runs back in with the play call there. That was Cameron Baines on that last carry. He picked up about 3 hard yards and sets the Maroon Devils up with a 2nd and 7 from their own 42-yard line. This time it will be, didn't catch the number on that. That's big number 60 on the tackle, and it looks like Lossie again on the carry. Number 60 for Cherryville is Ibrahim Metwali, and he makes the tackle after a gain of about 2 for Lossie.
Yeah, they're going to run that option in a minute. Connor's going to keep it, and if he's got time right here, he may pick up the first down if he keeps it on this particular play.
Well, it's down to 1:30, so Swain can effectively run out the remainder of this clock if they get a first down here. Many of the Swain faithful have chosen to go on home and try to get warm. Cherryville did not bring a huge crowd, but they're going to wait it out with their folks over there.
They'll run a toss sweep right here to the wide side of the field. There it is. Upfield, good.
And that's Taylor. He's got some running room out to the side. Colby Taylor's free into Cherryville territory. Chased down from behind out there. He's still running, still on his feet, breaks free, and Taylor is going to score.
That was great.
With 1:01 left. What a run by Colby Taylor. There's a flag on the Cherryville 48-yard line, though.
No, hopefully somebody didn't hold. He tightrope walked that sideline while he was getting hit, and somehow he was able to stay in bounds.
Great
It looks
run.
like it's coming back.
But that's one of those runs, Coach, that you know as well as anyone when you're coaching down there, you make note of that. That was a heck of a run by that kid.
That's something that doesn't go away in your memory, and you store that away, and the young man will store that away. Although he's very upset the fact that it's coming back right here. That's great experience getting out there and running through those people and making them miss and them taking shots at you and you staying on your feet.
Yeah, that was live action for him, and he did a great job with it. The penalty, however, will nullify the big gainer and go from the Cherryville 48 back to the Swain 42. Be 3rd and about 7 again, basically where we started out before that play. And we're at 50 seconds and counting, so Swain can essentially take a knee if they wanted to on 2 consecutive plays here and run the remainder of clock out. It may be what they choose to do. I don't know. They may feel that they can run one more play, but we're actually at 38 seconds here, and they are going to take the victory.
We're going to run a toss sweep again this way.
Yeah, it is a toss sweep, isn't it?
Yep.
And we jump off sides.
Got it.
So the clock's still at 29 now. Offsides on the Maroon Devils will be 5 yards back. That probably will do it. 28.7, and we've stopped clockwise. And Swain will have 3rd and 12 from their own 38-yard line. Clock has begun again. It's a 25-second clock, and it's under 27. So let's see if that.
I believe we're going to take a knee right here.
If that does it, and it does look like Connor Hyde is ready with the victory formation, and he will take a knee right here. And that should do it from Swain County Memorial Stadium. The Maroon Devils have advanced and continue a couple of streaks worth note, Coach. They have won 18 straight home games now, tying the all-time record, which you were a part of.
Right.
And they'll look to get another home game somewhere down the road and extend that. But, again, remain undefeated at home in the playoffs for all time, which is kind of crazy if you think about that we've never lost a home playoff game in the first round. But that streak continues as well, so great job by Coach Blankenship and his staff. We appreciate you joining us. Be with us next week as the Maroon Devils travel to Cherryville. Bessemer City. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
The time is now to pre-order your very own